Okay, I've adjusted this little diagram to show you that this is the regular E box pattern, root 2 3 5 6 root 2 3, that kind of thing. However, we got a double here, so that's not right. So let's just get rid of that a second and look at it, because this is warped over. The bottom part wasn't. So now we have our pattern, root 2 3 5 6 root 2 3 5 6 root 2. That's our E box. A would be root 2 root 2 4 5 6 root 2 4 5 6 root 2 with a root 4 6. That's your fourth shape, A shape. But then this is the pattern fitting effect for this diagram. We have to use the A shape for the fifth too. Okay, so remember, I brought these over just to show you that this is the long pattern. We brought this 3 over because this 3, 6, and 2 below the fret nut, down here. So we can't get them, so we'll make them, we use this long pattern. So that's just a long pattern in a nutshell, and you fit in by having to use the same cage shape. So the rule is with long patterns playing around the fret nut or a capo, just go to the next cage shape up to make that pattern. So let's say we have something that's going to use a C shape for the fifth. We should have something using a C shape for the fifth. It's actually this one. EA is supposed to be C without the capo. I could show you that. Here's the my guitar is like feathering out here. Wow, I've really got to do some work on this. Okay, so here's the E shape. Here's the A shaped A fourth. Now this is supposed to be a C shape B. But we can't get that with that capo there, can we? Can't get it. We can get about the first 2 notes of it, 3 notes of it, which is essentially that E shape dropped down 1 string. Kind of mellow. So what we do is we just take the fourth up 1 shape, but in essence that's taking the C shape up by 1. So here's our C shaped B. Okay, the fifth of B is what? F sharp. So we start on F sharp for the A shaped B. So you take it up 1 cage shape if you can't make the shape there. But we want to play these patterns down here, these longer patterns, and I think I have a right down here, and now I can zoom right in and just get the cursor on it. This is the S3XL long pattern extended to show full string shapes. So here's our S3XL long pattern. We know where this came from. We actually have a 7L diagram here. So this is wonderful. Once I filled in the string shapes top and bottom here, and notice there's also an additional string shape involved here, okay, so that we're completely surrounded by string shapes. Our S3XL pattern here, 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6, whoops. Okay, that was like no fret top note there. Off the cliff top note there. That was an A. So we're surrounded by string shapes. This is nice. Now this is a complete shape here. Here's our complete C shape, complete G, complete E, complete D on the bottom, and C on the bottom. Complete G over here, and a complete A shape here, complete E we talked about, and D. So we've got our friend the 7L. Okay, and what is the 7L? As you know, it's pretty much a D, A, and E string shape right here. And then we've got the C and the G string shapes here. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. On top of that we have an S2L, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, those are those two guys. Now additionally we have another S3L here, which is DA and E, I suppose, DAE, yeah. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2 here. And then on the bottom over here, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. That's the L. See the L? There's an L there, and it's kind of like a big L there. Okay. Now the way it's easier to see is if I just do the S3S's. So here's your S3S, and then here's your S2L. So the S3S is just pentatonic. So that's the crux of the. There's your L. It's kind of a fat L like that, and then we'll do the 7 with the S3S. Of course, we have the S3S stem, and we have the S2L hat on the 7 right there. So there's the 7, and I showed you the L. That's where the 7L came from. So we have our S3XL in the dead center, but we are also surrounded by these things. Now take note of these two guys. This D shape down here, okay, and this E shape up here. And also take note of AA. Here's AA right here. Okay. So we have, whenever it's the S3XL starts on an A shape and ends on an A shape. A, you know, goes to E, and D, you know, goes to A. So that should help us get in and out of the, here, let me, what am I doing here? I want to get rid of the drawing tool. Yeah, okay, and by the way, I don't freak out if I hit Task Manager. It always blanks the screen out. But apparently today, sitting back and letting it go is kind of, can be catastrophic. It's like a rubber band. Let go of it from one end, you're going to get it on the other hand. So this pattern here, which is in the middle of our string shapes, can be used to extend us away from the fret nut. So I guess we're going to finish covering S3XL here. So this is pattern fitting. This is pattern fitting. It's a special case of pattern fitting. These are the fret nuts. Okay, we can't get to the usual patterns that want to go over to the right, over to the right. So we have to bring them to the, excuse me, they want to go to the left, my other right. Okay, and so we bring them to the right so they can go back over again. Okay, here's 3 and here's a 7. Here's 3 and here's a 7. Bring them to the right and then they can go back up again. But what I'm looking at here, here's how I get rid of the drawings. What we're looking at here is using the S3XL, okay, fitting that in, but going into that pattern, and it's most evident in the G pattern. Why is it most evident in the G pattern? I'm just repeating while I'm setting